Hi there and welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We're out of the workshop and into my study. So this is a standard type of cupboard you'll see anywhere here in Australia. And what you typically have is just a horizontal board, a bit of a rail, and tend to just hook everything up on that rail. So just for your clothes and stuff. And what tends to happen is what you see down the bottom is that all the junk gets put into boxes and trying to find anything in this thing is almost impossible. So I've had this thing in mind for quite some time that I'm going to revamp this cupboard, and what I'm planning to do is just put in a bit of an insert with a whole bunch of drawers. So the hope is to just tidy up this whole area. Also plan to get rid of this and then raise that rod all the way up to the top so you can still have a bit of hanging space, and I just use this to hang a lot of my hiking backpacks. So first things first, we've got to get rid of all of this, take it all out, and then we need to get rid of this. And I suspect what I'm going to have to do is pull the cupboard away from the wall because the screws to this will most likely be on the inside. So let's get to it. All right, that was much harder than it actually needed to be. It turns out that it wasn't only just screwed in, it was also nailed in. So you saw me taking out the multi-tool and trying to cut those nails out, leaving a beautiful reveal on the inside full of just no holes everywhere. But thankfully, that's all gonna be covered up by stuff and I won't really worry about that too much anyway. So next what we're gonna do is actually build the insert itself. So this is very specific, it has to be the exact depth, height, and width. So let's get to that now. So given that the drawers are very similar in size, except for the very top and the very bottom, I find it easiest just to cut a piece of scrap MDF for the height of the drawers. Then what you can do is just rest the drawers themselves on the MDF. It's not what I did here because I don't have the drawers just built yet, but future me learnt that lesson, which you'll see soon. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a glove like Michael Jackson, it's because I sliced it open on some melamine when I took it from the car. So be very careful when handling a melamine, obviously, and I probably should have been wearing gloves in the first place. And you know what? I probably won't even learn my lesson, I'll do it again. What you see me doing here is just using some regular playing cards, so the type that you play poker with. And they all tend to be of a very similar thickness, well, especially in one deck. So be mindful because they can vary from deck to deck. All right, so everyone's favorite job is making drawers. So after building about 50 here in the workshop, I'm actually getting pretty good at it, but it is a pretty tedious task. I'll link up to a video up in the top here by Dave Stanton, who actually goes through in depth of exactly what I'm doing with these drawers. I've just copied his method because it's actually pretty good. And if you're here in Australia and just want to use melamine, this stuff's just very easy to work with, and the way that he's worked out to make drawers just makes things a lot easier. The issue is there's just a lot of pocket holes. But anyway, thanks Dave for putting that video together. Actually, Dave's probably one of the first YouTubers I ever found when I got into woodworking a long time ago. So thanks a lot, Dave. So now that I've done far too many pocket holes and everything's cut to size, I've got the fronts and the backs and the bottoms. Now it's time to assemble it. Now, before I get to that, I need to put edge banding on those edges, specifically the ones that are going to be facing up. And I do have an edge banding machine, which I bought a little while ago. There's a review of that machine up there if you're interested. So let's get, everyone's second favorite job is edging. It is quite a tedious task, but to be honest, it's pretty relaxing. Right, so I did want to take some time to actually have a quick review of these Craig drawer slide guides. They're really, really good if you have a cabinet that is not melamine, because what they tend to do, and if Craig, if you're watching this, I would add a bit of rubber to the side of it so it does get a bit of a perch or a grip on some smoother material like melamine or anything else that has a laminate on it. So what tends to happen is, you know, you'll kind of line it up with the edge of your cabinet or your piece of melamine and you'll clamp it down. But what tends to happen if you have a heavy drawer, like melamine drawers are, the back side of it tends to come down a little bit, and you screw everything in, you have everything ready, and then when your drawer is opening, it opens up on an angle, and that can be quite frustrating. So what I tend to do now is if I'm working on a cabinet, I'll leave the back open. I won't put a backer on there, and I'll just clamp a bit of timber from front to back just underneath that drawer runner to hold the drawer on top. The ideal thing that I should have done, hindsight's always 2020, is when I was cutting out those MDF spaces, I should have just put those on top, but I didn't make the drawers in time. I've made those drawers a little bit later. So just be mindful of that. Now, let's hope this thing fits. Like a glove, like this glove. I think that looks pretty cool. What do you reckon? Down in the comments, I think I need to patch all that stuff up. I think I might just need to clean it all up and maybe get some little bit of gap filler. But mostly you won't see it because there'll be stuff hanging inside. I think that's going to be such an improvement now. All right, time to put in the drawers. All right, every single one of them sits absolutely uniformly where they should be. Next step is to put on the drawer fronts, but I think I've had enough for today. I might actually have a shower to not be as wet because I'm absolutely drenched with sweat. Anywho, let's get on with it. Rightio, wow, that was a lot of work and it's quite humid here today, but all the drawers are in. They look perfectly fine. They all run nice and easily. Maybe I should have gotten soft close, but you know, it's what it is. Anyway, next step is to put all the drawer fronts on, but I think I might save that for another day. So I'm gonna take the rest of the day off because I deserve it, and I'll see you now. Right, I'm back. That break probably lasted about 20 minutes because I can't keep still. So what I've done is I've taken off the cupboard doors themselves and I've scribed a line exactly where the top of that little insert, that drawer insert, goes up to. And the plan is to literally chop these doors in half and have the hinges that are already mounted to go back up on the top. And then I'm gonna use the bottom of the doors and make faces, or the drawer faces, out of them anyway. So that's nice recycling and means I don't have to go out and buy any more melamine. It does mean that I have to do a little bit of edging. So bear with me while we cut the doors, and we'll mount the doors back inside, and then the leftovers will make into drawer faces. So let's get to it. And there you have it, all done and dusted. So I'll put on the drawer fronts off camera just to save you all the trouble. But now you can see all my hiking gear is neatly organized. So that means I have absolutely no excuse. And I'll show you what I've done in the drawers themselves. All right, so if I show you one of the drawers, the top drawer, it's a little bit empty because I have some stuff ready to go for a bit of a hike. And I've used the Gridfinity system. So if you're unfamiliar with it, I'll link up a little card in the corner where I go through exactly how it works and how you can add it to your workshop. But essentially, I have everything neatly organized, like my compasses, some Panadol and all sorts of other stuff, as well as, you know, aqua tabs for filtering water. But everything's ready. So this top drawer is essentially all my essentials. So if this drawer is mostly empty, which it is, it means I'm ready to go. And also includes my little Garmin GPS unit. And there you have it. I'm pretty happy with this. Everything's organized, so I absolutely have zero excuse not to get out in the wilderness anymore. Anyway, so I hope each and every single one of you take care of yourselves, and I really hope you all have a wonderful time in your workshop this weekend. So, bye.